Hello, and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people doing incredible things. Hi, I'm doing a tap step into your heart. I'm Trey, and I'm joined by Emily, who's doing a lovely shuffle number. How are you doing?
I'm I love when you do that. Just put me on the spot, Trey. That was amazing. I can't I don't know how to do that in my seat, but thank you.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
that. It's keeping me awake and on my toes, literally and figuratively.
I love the
There you
body
go.
movement with that.
I was like, I don't know what to do, but here we are. I'm trying really hard to play along, okay?
No, and you're doing a fabulous job. I really love that powder beret that you just threw in there.
I don't know what I'm doing, but here we are. Hi, I'm
I
also Trey.
I love callbacks. Um, but you know who does know a lot about dance and who is a spectacular guest tonight? Would you do it would you do us the honor of introducing our guest tonight, Emily?
Yes. You know what? I think we should come out with a blooper reel just of our horrible introductions and things like that. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be really good.
And go. And now Trey is going to break into a 3-part song about dancing. And go. Okay, sorry. Please welcome Adalie Grace Dickson to the podcast. She has been dancing since 3 years old and trained at top studios. And despite challenges like a knee injury, her passion for dance shines through. So we're really excited to have you here, Adalie. Thank you for coming.
Of course. I'm super excited.
Hooray.
Yay. Um, I For me, I describe myself as a singer who can move but cannot dance. So to have somebody that is as gifted as dance as you are, I am very excited to get your insights. But to start off, I heard that there's kind of an interesting story about how you got into dance. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start dancing?
Yeah. So I was actually around the age of 3, like maybe 2.5, closer to 3. And I was at one of my best friends who I like went to preschool with. She had done dance. And so we were at like her first recital. And I just remember I was like sitting on like the little balcony thing, like in the big theater, like with my family and her family. And I just remember every time a dance would end, and I would be, okay, where's the rest? Like, I'd be like, is it over? Like, I don't want to leave. Like, I would just be like, okay, when's the next one? When's the next one? So then my mom was like, I wasn't going to start her till she started kindergarten, just to like, like have that extra step, like starting dance in kindergarten. But she was like, I think she really wants to do this now, because I would not stop talking about it for like weeks after that. So then that next fall, or like around when our season starts, she got me into like the classic, like usually the beginner classes, like ballet, tap. Sometimes there's like a jazz or hip hop, but usually it's like ballet and tap is like the basics.
Mm-hmm.
But I really just wanted to do tap because it was loud, and I just really liked like the loud shoes, and I just, yeah. But yeah, so that's really how it got started. Yeah, so then I ended up joining the studio that we went and watched, and then yeah.
So do you still find that those original dances that you did are what you enjoy today, the same styles?
No. So, yeah, absolutely not. I did well, okay, so I still do ballet because it's like a very important fundamental in dance, just like to do throughout for training, just because it's so good on your joints, on your muscles. I mean, it's definitely exhausting and definitely causes pain for sure. But overall, I think that it's because it's like gaining muscle and gaining strength rather than like weight training, as where it's like full on, like, I don't know, like 100-pound weights, like go, you know what I mean? It's very like, it's very I don't know how to, it's like a softer way of doing it, and you know what I mean? And it's more fun to me. Like, I don't really like going to like drenching myself in sweat in a gym personally, but I think that, yeah. So ballet I've stuck with, but I've never really done like a ballet number, like a foot, like a anything like that. Like, I've never competed ballet, but I definitely still do ballet technique just to keep like feet working, legs working, like arm toned, because it obviously the arms are a big part of that.
Yeah.
Tap, um, I did it until I think about fifth grade, and I competed it. I never liked it, but it is very good for musicality, just because you have to hit those beats on the music like correctly. So I stopped competing it, but I did like a tap technique class, which was basically just like being able to hear the music and like um, show that with your feet, basically.
Okay.
And but after that year, I was like, okay, I cannot do it anymore. It just wasn't fun. But I love watching tap. Like my studio, our studio director, her mom, who started a studio like years and years ago, she still helps with our studio now. And then the studio director's daughter, all three of them are like insane at tap. And so we have a very good tap teacher, and our tap groups have been incredible in the past, but that life is not for me.
I don't know much about tap. I'm sorry, Trey, did you?
No, go ahead.
I don't know that much about tap dancing or dancing in general. That's just not an art
Okay.
form. I love watching it. World of Dance is one of my favorite shows.
Yes. Yeah, I've actually met Derek Huff.
Have you really?
Really? What?
Yeah. Yes. I was at a convention. Okay, I was really young, so I don't even, I mean, not really young. I want to say like maybe 10, 11.
Okay.
So I do remember it, but I honestly couldn't tell you what I said, and it's a little embarrassing to this moment. So I hope he doesn't remember that. But
I'm sure many people forget what they say around Derek Huff.
yes, yeah. I mean, for sure, one of my celebrity dance crushes. I was like probably
Yeah.
I was in awe. But yeah, it was one of this. It's called Tremaine. It's like a dance convention, which is basically where you go for like 2 to 3 days, and you just take classes from all different sorts of people. And so this one was, I'm trying to think. So Paula Abdul was actually there. Took a
Cool.
class from her.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know Michael Demeski. He was on World of
Yeah,
Dance.
I
don't know.
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was there. He was like her assistant. So they taught a few classes, and then Derek Huff came as like a guest thing, and we got to like take pictures with them and like ask him any questions, that stuff like that. So yeah,
Wow.
I
Very cool.
I say that to that moment, even though I couldn't remember what I said, but I'm like, yeah, I met him. Yeah, I met him.
Yeah, that is amazing. Well, congrats to you. That sounds like
thanks.
it was an incredible time to be able to,
Yes, it was fun.
and also take lessons from these amazing people who are
Yeah,
so great in dance. And
yeah,
wow, what a cool opportunity. I'm glad you got to do that.
yes. I wish I could go back now that I'm actually like a better dancer than I was when I was 10, but
Right. One day,
one day, yeah,
one day you might be the person teaching the class with
maybe
one of them. That would be amazing.
that would be awesome.
Something for me that I think about as you're describing, like, you said tap wasn't for you, but you found
Yeah,
you find still value in taking some of those classes.
yes,
Um, like thinking and looking at some of your peers who have gone into some of those different veins that you didn't take, how
uh-huh.
do you recognize that someone like that is their thing? How do you recognize in somebody else that you're like, I see a spark in you? How do
Yeah,
you?
for sure. So I would say for me, I can tell on how much fun they're having, especially on stage. Like if you just watch, like if you put me doing tap compared to someone that has done it since they like are very passionate about it, you can just tell that they actually um, they care to continue on with their training of it. Like for me, like I was like, yeah, I'll train in it because it's good for me, but I don't really want to. Like I would never really want to like learn new steps and blah 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 blah. So I feel like being confident is for sure. Like you can just tell the confidence on stage. Like if I was put on stage to do a tap number, my confidence would be all the way down here. But like if I'm watching someone, you can just tell that they really care for that and that they are confident in what they have and are like eager to learn more, basically. And that helps a lot in the studio because you can see them learning it, this is really cool just for all genres. But you can watch how hard someone tries in the studio and then watch it pay off on stage and hopefully like see their outcome and like in the awards and stuff like that. It's awesome. So yeah, you can definitely tell. And just like being able to talk to them, like them just being like, yeah, I hate contemporary, but I love tap. Or like for me, it's like, yeah, I'm not a tapper, but I love contemporary. So stuff like that.
Very cool. I think it's really cool that and I don't really want to say it this way, but I'm going to say it this way. And
Okay.
hopefully you'll just understand. I think it's cool that someone your age has an appreciation for an art form that maybe isn't for them, and
For
still
sure.
even can go back to it to learn some or to take something away from it because it still benefits you as like a
Oh
whole
yeah,
artist. That is
absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely. It's yeah. I mean, I would take a tap class right now just for fun, just to be like, okay, let's see if I still got it. But I think my skills have um, definitely declined, and I'm probably about where our 9-year-olds are when in tap. But that's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Still further ahead than I am. So yes.
Yeah. Well.
Same.
Yeah.
And now Trey's tap number. Go.
Yeah.
You cannot see it, but I'm doing the craziest tap routine.
I bet I would kill to see it right now.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
What's funny is I actually still have the tap shoes from when we did a small tap routine back in high school. I
Mm,
was in a show choir and we had like a very small tap number that we did.
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I'm so glad I was in the back row. So
Oh,
glad.
yeah. Yes. I think I still have my tap shoes, and they're probably like a size 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of small. Yep.
Yeah.
So right now the Olympics are on, and a lot of
Yes.
the elements of the Olympics have to do with dance. Are you watching the Olympics?
Um, Not gonna lie, I only watch the women's gymnastics. That's all I care about.
Yep.
I love Simone Biles. Love her. She's so good.
She is. Oh yeah.
Do y'all see how she got 12 feet in the air?
Yeah, that was I
Yes.
did. I did watch it.
How? I, anyways, that's for another time. But yeah, I don't understand.
I was just
I
wondering if
literally,
you notice those things because dance kind of
yeah,
crosses that line into gymnastics and
yes,
also
there
ice
is,
skating and things.
yeah, there is some things in gymnastics, but usually it's kind of so. One of our acro teachers at my studio, she was a competitive gymnast all growing up, and so there's something she'll be like, "Can you show me this?" And I like do it, and it's like totally different. So like sometimes they call things that are dance terms, but it's not either
Oh,
either dance is wrong or gymnastics is wrong. I'm not really sure, but yeah, but there's a few things of that I'm like, that's actually not what it is, but it might be. Who knows?
different world.
But
Huh.
yeah, I don't know, I've never really connected. I mean, I did gymnastics when I was like 5 and 6, but I was like learning cartwheels and like one-handed cartwheels and stuff like that. But yeah, I've never connected. I 100% bet that there's something like for sure behind that, but I haven't ever really noticed that.
Hmm. Yeah, I've watched like some of their dance routines or like they'll do various flips on the
Yeah,
floor and then they do some dance moves and I've always wondered like do they get a dance coach involved too or is it all
probably
just gymnastics or how it's kind of a cool world that I
it
don't know that
is.
much about.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with
Okay.
gymnastics. I am not a tumbler at all. I wish I was,
I guess it would
but
be tumbling, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Hmm. Were you about
It,
to ask something, Trey?
yeah, kind of. Where like, uh, how do I ask this question? It's kind of that translation of what different teachers call different things. I've had
Yeah.
some I've had some teachers be very super specific with their music terms of what they're looking for in terms of a dance, and then other teachers who are a little bit more, we'll just say loosey goosey with their
Yeah.
explanations of things. With teachers that you've had across different companies, do you find yourself kind of gravitating towards those more like super specific dance terms, or are you kind of more in line with the keep it a little more free form and keep it more in like the feeling that you're having within your body?
Yeah. I would say that it all, like I said, it all goes back to ballet. So when like literally every dance ever always like starts at ballet, and so
Hmm.
I think that certain term or like certain terminology and moves for sure there's a right and wrong because ballet is pretty much right and wrong. Now when it comes to like the actual dancing and the art form of it and like the emotion, the connection to the audience, the connection to the judges, stuff like that, I think that that has no right and wrong. So I think that for me, it's that connection of like, is my foot turned out or sickled, which it needs to be turned out, by the way. Um, um, it's like that connection is if it turned out or is it turned in, but also am I captivating, like is my foot all that matters? Because if you're dancing and all you're thinking about is my leg straight, is my foot pointed, is my head the right way, is my arms straight or bent, like stuff like that, I think that there's no, the judges are just going to be like, okay, pretty feet, pretty legs, good, good. You know what I mean? There's nothing there. But I think that if you take that technique and move that to the next level and you're dancing saying, oh yeah, I know my foot's pointed, I know my leg's bent, so now what am I going to do with my face? What am I going to do to like draw the audience in? Because that's really what the judges look for. Because like I said, if your foot's pointed and your leg's straight, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, that was pretty. But if you captivate them and you make that eye contact, point that foot also, I'm not saying that doesn't matter 100%, but yeah, I think that if you just captivate that and not let little, like, because I could not point my foot in one dance but have amazing emotion, they probably won't even notice. So it's just like being able to kind of do a balance for sure. So when it comes to ballet stuff, I like it pretty specific because I like that right and wrong, because 100% there is right and wrongs. But I think that when it comes to like contemporary stuff like that, I don't really think there is a right and wrong in the emotion form of it.
So that's kind of where that art lies
Yes, for
versus
sure.
sport.
Yes.
Wow. No, that was a really good answer. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you find yourself drawn? I don't know how to ask this. Maybe it occurred to me, this question, but I guess maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Sport versus art form. Do you find
Yeah.
yourself drawn more toward the sport? Because you said something about ballet being it's black or white, it's right or wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
And that kind of structure in your dance, does that, obviously that's going to help competition, but
Yeah.
do you also lean toward the art of it as far as
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
for sure. I think that, like I said, it's like, um, I, most of my friends, I mean, not to brag on my studio or anything, but our studio has very good technique, I'd say.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think our technique teacher's great. I mean, like we try, we're very like hard workers and stuff. So um, I think that the sport is very important in class. I think that because like you want to perform, because how you perform in practice is how you're going to perform on the stage 100%. But I also think that there's some leisure, like there's some gray area there to be able to be like, okay, is my foot pointed, is my, you know what I mean, and hear those corrections from your teacher and apply them right then and there, so then that muscle memory grows. So I think that that is the big sport, is like muscle memory and taking corrections like that, because you only have, like, I'm in 8 dances this year, and I have like, and I learned some of them in, like, we're kind of in the choreography process right now, so I'm kind of learning. I think I've learned 2, and I'm going to Missouri to learn one tomorrow, but so
Mm.
then I still have 5 more dances to learn by competition season, which is around January, which seems like, okay, that's a lot of time, but really to clean and learn 8 dances is like insane. So I
That
think
does
that,
sound insane. Yeah.
yeah, so starting, obviously, like, not saying like start perfect, but start trying at day one, because all it matters is that if you try, because then your brain will be like taking those corrections like that, and then just being able to be like, okay, muscle memory, and then by the time you get on stage, it's like, oh, like I said, it's like you don't even have to think about those things. You know what I mean? Like, really all you're thinking about is how am I going to show my art right here, is all here. So I think sport for sure in practice, because you don't really need to perform to the wall or to
Yeah.
yourself in a mirror. But yeah,
Well said. Very well said.
And not to mention, like you,
We can't hear you, Trey.
I promise you, I am
I
talking.
know you are. Yeah.
I was
Just
like,
start over with your question. We heard like 2 words.
yeah,
Ah, okay. Um, so I know you said that these competitions don't start until January, but
Yeah,
you are also still getting to a point where you may the person choreographing it may see it and go, that doesn't really work, and so you've got to rework different
for
scenes
sure.
and learn
Then there's
something new.
yes, there's always something that happens in the year. It's either like there's sometimes that so it's called like cleaning the dance basically. It's just like where you go through and nitpick everything, make sure everyone looks the same, just like just that sport form just to make sure everyone looks uniform and the same. Or if you're not supposed to look the same, keep that, like keep everyone looking different. Um then I think um yeah, yeah. So I just think being able to keep everyone the exact same or everyone different, and that's like our cleaning process. Sandra said, "How do you keep the dances steps for each separate when you learn so many at one time?" Yeah, that's hard. Um, I think that muscle memory throughout. I mean, I've done it for almost 12 years, so I think that being able to recognize what also helps with genres, because obviously like my hip hop number is not going to be the same as my like lyrical contemporary, so that
Sure.
helps for sure. But like this year I have, let me count, 4 contemporary dances. So
Okay.
I've been doing 2 contemporary solos, and then wait, no, I'm lying, 3 contemporary dances, 2 solos, and then 1 group. So that that definitely can be hard. Just not mixing the stuff. I definitely did that when I was little, but honestly, I think that as time goes on, it is. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some science behind that I kind of want to know now. But I feel like I don't know. I've just kind of. I think that it also helps that there's structure in classes. Like you know what I mean. Like this class is 5 to 6. This class is 6 to. You know what I mean. Like stuff like that. That I think that it's you just kind of know what dance you're getting yourself into and what dance. But I will say there's definitely times when dances have been similar, and then me be like, I just started doing my other dance that I did to this last year, or like something like that. But I feel like I've never really been like very confused, like on stage or something like that. Probably when I was little, but I don't remember anything like major happening like that.
Sure. When you started versus now, something that came to mind was you
uh-huh.
mentioned corrections and
Yes.
correcting as you're going and thinking
Yes.
about corrections. When it comes to dance lessons and with your coaches and whoever is helping
Yeah.
you learn a dance and perfect it, do you find that there's like maybe when you were starting or versus now, was there a difference in how critiques were given that worked best for you, that wasn't like obviously maybe tearing you down because you may not continue, but what do you find works the best for you? And I guess how did you figure out? I feel like I'm asking 10 questions at once and I tend to
No,
do
no,
that. Okay.
no. I'm picking it up.
Okay.
I think it's very important how you give off corrections, but I think it's honestly, if not like equal, if not more, how important you receive them, because like there's a big difference in that constructive criticism and like um, just being mean. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I've definitely had teachers in the past that are just mean, and it almost feels like they're telling me not telling me what to do, because they are, but more it's like I'm getting in trouble than it is
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, make sure you blah 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 or something
Yeah.
like that. So I think that like being able to know what you're talking about and know what you're actually correcting is so important, because if I'm taking, or like I'm not going to take critiques from someone who doesn't know, or like doesn't know my part or doesn't know the dance or doesn't know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm like, you don't have that right. And that's not me trying to be mean, but it's just like, you don't know me, you don't know my dance style. What if my foot was supposed to be flexed there? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just something like that. But I think personally, I don't mind if you yell out in the middle of the dance, but there's a chance that I'm going to forget by the end of the dance. And so then I'm probably going to do it the next time. So what's helpful for me is a lot of my teachers they'll like either do like a notes app on their phone or like just like write down notes that they have for the whole dance. And then if it's like make sure that your leg's straight on this part, but it's like she'll be like, make sure your leg's straight on this, like this 8 count, but Adalie, like I noticed that time your leg wasn't straight, so just make sure you do that. You know what I mean? Like they'll give it to the whole class, but also just be like, make sure that you're doing it, if that makes sense. And I think a big thing that I've learned mostly at this studio that I'm at now is that always assume that the correction is going to you, even though it's not said. So if you're on the sidelines, you're not in this part of the dance, you're doing it in a group, blah, 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 like you're doing across the floors, and the teacher's like, okay, make sure that your arms stay, or like you hold on 5 and then turn on 6, something like that. Then you have to think. You can't just be off to the side talking or off to the side like doing something else. You have to think, where did I pause on 5? Was I up, or was I turning on 6? It's just stuff like that I think always assume that it's about you. Yeah. Always. But yeah, I think constructive criticism is big in dance because it's hard for me to respect someone if they don't respect me first in the dance community, for sure, because it's like, this is my art form. Yeah. This is not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not like a toy that's going on stage to win. So I think for sure, like being nice, but also like, I'm going to get the job done.
Right. You own this art form so well, like intellectually, and just
Thank you.
I can tell that it's yours, and it's not just someone telling you, okay, you're gonna dance.
Yes.
I really like hearing that from you.
Yes, super important. Because I'll tell my choreographers, like if I'm I don't really do the string group dances because that's all of us, but like solos and duos or whatever, like if there's like a piece in the dance, I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. Like, this isn't me, or it's like, I don't think that I'm going to portray this as well as you want me to. I'll tell them, and I'll just be like, I don't think that this is my best move. And I don't think that this is going to, again, capture that audience like I want it to, or like you want it to. So I think that that's very important, is being able to, yes, take choreography, take corrections, but also be like, do you think that it might look better if I do something else here, just because I feel uncomfortable doing it? And if you feel uncomfortable doing it, you're not going to do it right.
Yeah. That feels 100%. Right for a lot of art.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I would agree. The thing that struck me was what Emily said of really kind of owning this craft. And so I'm very curious, where does some of that inspiration from? Because you seem like very laser focused on a lot of this. So I'm kind of wondering, where does that passion and that fire come from? And is there any inspiration from other people to kind of keep that laser focus going?
Yeah, I think myself, I'm not for the biggest inspiration part, but I think my passion, and because I always want to prove it to myself. I don't really, obviously I want other people's opinions and I want other people's stuff, but I'm never going to be like, okay, I don't really want to do this, but they want me to, so I'm going to, unless it's like something like an opportunity or something like, like something like that. But like, if someone's like, I don't really think you look good doing that, I'm going to be like, well, I do actually. So sorry. But I think that all my passion and all of my willingness to try comes from myself. 100%. I'm my biggest competitor, and that can be very degrading at times, for sure. But I think that overall, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think that it's very important to criticize yourself without being mean to yourself. And I definitely have had issues with that and still do. Like, that's really all art, like all, and honestly, anything, like even in like school and like work and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that it's important to know your worth, but also push yourself past things that you don't think that you can do.
Yeah, like life exists outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
That was so well said. I just wanted to interject that, because that is huge. There are people all over the place that have imposter syndrome. And you just said the one thing that could potentially solve that for people, and that is, you are your only competition. I love that so much. What wise words from someone
Thank you.
so young. I love this. Go ahead, Trey. I'm sorry.
Can we take a 5-second applause for Adalie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, with so talking about that and talking about people who may have some stronger struggles with overcoming like self-deprecation. If you recognize someone else as having that, what do you typically say to them, or how can other artists encourage each other?
Well, if it's like in class or something, like, and you can tell that one of your friends isn't getting something as fast, like, because personally, when I'm struggling with myself and I'm being mean to myself, I don't want someone to come over and be like, "You're doing great," because then I just want to bark back and be like, "No, I'm not." You know what I mean? Because I'm in that headspace where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, don't talk to me."
Mhm.
But that's probably not very encouraging. But um, I think that if I notice that in one of my friends, because I think to no one is to be one, 100%. Like self critic to another self critic, like you can just tell when that mode comes on, and they just like, even if it's just like an eye roll or like falling out of something, and you're just like, or like a deep breath or something like that, like, because obviously you're not going to like lash out in class and start crying. You know what I mean? I mean, probably done that when I was younger, but
Sure.
now at this age, you probably wouldn't do that. But I think that just kind of looking at them and being like, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing great, like something like that. Cause I'm not going to go over there and like hug them or like do something like that. Cause that would stress me out and probably make me even more mad. But I think just being like, or after class, just waiting and be like, you can just kind of tell like that turn didn't really, or like, they fell out of their turn a few times after class, being like, hey, I saw you do those turns, you looked really good. So then they're like, wait, maybe I was just being hard on myself. You know what I mean? Just like kind of get the brain on a totally opposite direction than what their brain is leading them.
But you're
Have you
also
ever,
giving. Oh, sorry.
no, you're fine. I was reading this question. Have you ever found yourself lost in a dance because it was so fitting for you and how you dance? Or do you find yourself more focused on each move? Um, every time that I've been on stage, it's literally a blur. Like, honestly, like, couldn't tell you what happens on stage. I'm not even like, unless like something like distracts. Like, I've had music. I can't wait to get to our competition stories, but I've had music stop on me like just randomly in the dance. I've had
Oh man.
like I said, fallen and busted it. Just like if I get disrupted, for sure, I'm like, okay, well, where am I? But usually if the dance goes smoothly, I walk out on stage. They introduce, they're like, this is number 365, blah blah blah. You walk on there and you get in formation, sit down, stand up, whatever, and then I'm out. I don't remember anything. Usually the audience, since the lights are so bright, the audience is just all black. There's
Oh
nothing,
sure.
and I don't remember anything. I couldn't tell you. And I'll come off and be like, yeah, I feel good. And I'm like, I don't, do I? I don't know. So,
Wow.
yeah. But I think that there's definitely more of like an emotion click that like I think it's more of like how much you try and how much you care for the dance. Like, I've had dances before and I'm like, I do not like this dance very much, but I'm still going to go out there and do my best. But I think even that, it's just like, I don't really want to try. I don't really want to try. I'm going to, but I don't really want to. And I think that you can definitely tell that on stage as much as you don't want to. But I don't think I've ever had a dance where it's like pure chaos, like no one liked it. I think that there's definitely dances that you don't want to do that you just have to suck it up and do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't focus on my moves. I just kind of go out there and go hope for the best.
Right. Pure chaos. That's what I would be delivering.
Yeah.
We'll
I've been
discuss what
there.
that would look like.
I've been there.
Well, since you brought it up, I'm always a sucker for competition stories. So I'm gonna ask for your best, and I'm gonna ask for your worst, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do my worst first. Oh, wait. Okay. I have to think.
That's cool.
Okay. So my worst was, okay. So I've definitely forgotten my dance a few times, but I'm pretty good at improvising and just kind of, I mean, you can tell I was probably like 10. And so I just was like, just kind of like stuck. But then after like a set or after like a count, I was like, okay, I forgot my dance. I'm just going to go do some random stuff. So that was pretty bad, but I definitely cried afterwards. But it happens.
Sure.
It happens to all dancers, all artists, really. But I think my worst one was it was my second solo ever. So I was probably 8, 9 maybe, around there. And I was warming up backstage, and my costume was like a leotard, but it was a black and white, like it was a really fun pattern. Like it kind of gave like Greek almost, like it was just like a bunch of like triangles and like just it was very cool. And it was to Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like a cover. So it wasn't like that actual song, but it was, yeah, like it was a girl singing it, and it was like a little slower, blah, blah, blah. So that it was a contemporary piece. I was feeling it. I loved it. I was like 9. I was like, okay, this is so good. And I was warming up backstage, and I had these pants on, just like sweatpants over it, just to keep myself warm, and because I still had a while. So I was like stretching with them and like doing some jumping jacks and stuff. Well, the pants looked really similar to my costume. Like they were both black and white. They both kind of had that fun, like funky pattern on them. So they call my number. I'm backstage. I'm ready. Still have my pants on. Call my number, and they're like, okay, Adalie Dickson with Californication. Like, so I walk on stage, still have my pants on. So I walked on stage with my warm-up pants on. They're like PJ pants. Like, they're not like no athletic gear. I'm 9 years old. It was so sad. But what was even worse is I started facing the back. The audience is back here. And so I just started standing. And my dance teacher's on the side, or she's like running around to try to make it to the audience because she didn't even notice either. Like, it really matched. It was so weird. But so my mom and the studio owner at the time, this was at my current one, this was back in where I used to live, but my studio director and my mom had to literally yell at me, Adalie, you still have your pants on, because I couldn't see. And so I couldn't see them like waving. I couldn't see anything like pointing. Like, I walked on and faced the back immediately. So I was just like, I was ready to dance. I was ready. And so thankfully the judges, like no judges, it's like, I don't know, like if it's like per competition or it's just kind of like a known thing, but judges don't judge the first 30 seconds of you walking on the stage, just in case something like that happens, or just in case like music doesn't work or something like that. So they won't judge 30 seconds. I think sometimes there's like some gray area there. Like I think maybe it's not always 30, but at that competition, they didn't judge that part. But they did feel really bad for me because we get like video critiques after competition. So like judges are recording their voice as you're dancing, and then that gets sent to the studio. But you could tell I was so embarrassed. I mean, thankfully I hadn't started dancing yet, but I was like 9, and I was like, that what happened to me on my second solo ever. That was probably one of the worst that I'll carry with me as a 16-year-old.
And every time you see a pattern like that, you're like, oh, I remember these pants.
Every time I think about my second competition, I'm just like, poor girl. Oh. And then best, oh my gosh, I just love competition season. I think it's so fun. Like even not just like competing, but just being in that atmosphere is so fun. Like being able to watch your friends, like the hotel rooms are always so fun just because like, especially when we were younger, like we would just run around the hotel and like eat at like the hotel, like dinner while all of our moms would be talking and stuff like that. And we would just go run around. Like that's always so fun. And now that we're all older, we kind of are more like the moms and we just go eat at like a table or something like that. But probably so at one of the big competitions that we go to, it's called Talent on Parade. It is I think we were in Branson for this one, but they do this thing called the Parade of Champions. Okay. So it's basically there's like they pick dances throughout like that from that category, and basically they get to dance again, and it's like they call it the Parade of Champions because it's like the lights go crazy, like everyone's there, like it's a lot of fun. So one of my groups got picked for that, and then there's a winner of the Parade of Champions, and we ended up winning with our hip hop group. So that was a lot of fun. Okay. This was like I think I was 12 probably, my 6th grade year. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Wow, those are really fun. I mean, even though you did walk on stage with the pants on that you were not supposed to have on, like both of those stories, those are still like memories that you'll keep with you and
for sure
may be able to pass on. You talked before a little bit about like where you've tripped or where you've done some other things, or you've, I'm sure, seen other performers maybe have a struggle during their performances.
Yeah.
Um, how during those moments, I think about like still trying to give support and still trying to give those that space that you were talking about earlier.
Hmm.
How do you like get them back to competition ready after something like that?
Yeah. So obviously injuries are totally different because if you're injured, you're injured. Like we've had people get injured on the stage and ended up like having to get surgery and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like
wow.
that stuff is just like no fun, obviously, and is devastating to the team and obviously to them. But honestly, I think that it unless it and again, unless it is an injury, I honestly just say laugh it off because like think about like the pants thing. Like when that happened, my mom was like, think about when you're 16 years old, what are you going to do? You're not going to cry about your pants being on stage. You're going to laugh. And here I am on a podcast talking about how I walked on my pants and I'm laughing. So I think that just being able to say like it's really not that detrimental. Like you're leaving this competition tomorrow and probably never going to see these people again. And if you do, they'll probably be laughing at you. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Like I think that just being able to laugh it off, and if it's not funny in the moment, probably don't force them to laugh. Because at the time I was like, Mom, it's not funny. Like blah blah blah. But now, she kind of gave me my space and let me be upset about it. But now it's like it's fine. It's just pants. Or like if you fall, like I said, like my feet have totally come out from under me before. The judges probably will laugh, and that's fine. I'll laugh too after the fact. I mean, I'll probably be hurt because this stage is not soft, but but then honestly, just being able to laugh about it, even if you're mad at yourself or mad at other people for messing up the dance, like just being like, it really doesn't matter that much.
I think that is incredibly wise to say. It's still really difficult to do that in the moment, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
giving them their space and coming back to it, oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, then I think your ability to do that helps the other people that are also dancers around you, especially those that are like juniors to you that are still
Yes.
learning and still working up to your level. Seeing that you can do that can maybe give them the ability to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, super important. What a great influence to be able to be.
For
Um,
sure.
I do I was asking this question, I think, to some friends earlier in the week, um, but I think it's pertinent here. Is there a performance that like lives rent free in your head?
Oh, of mine?
Anybody's, like either yours
Annie's?
or a performance that you've seen.
Okay, let me think. There definitely is. Okay, so yeah, my mom just commented that one.
She
I
said
I was thinking
burn.
of that. I was thinking of that one too. So, have y'all seen the musical Hamilton?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we did, Burn from Hamilton, where after she gets cheated on, that blah blah blah. So my studio did a dance to that,
Hmm.
and we wore like big Victorian gowns. Like they were not like they were soft, like they looked like like whatever. But and we danced to the entire song. So that
Oh,
4 minute song did not cut it. And it was very. I mean, I'm glad that I was in it, but also I wish that I wasn't, so I could always watch it like just from the front, just because it was so captivating for sure. Like it was all just like pure emotion. Like there wasn't really a lot of technique in it. Like there wasn't anything that was like, wow, they just did like six turns and then like a bunch of flips. Like there was like one turn in it, and then like a few people did aerials in it, like one tumbling thing, and then it was just besides that, it was all dancing, and it was incredible. It was for sure crowd and studio favorite. But I'm trying to think of um, another studio's. Um, Tiffany's Performing Arts Center is. I'm actually going there tomorrow to learn my solo from one of the people. It's in Republic, Missouri. Um, they always have incredible dances, but one of my favorites from this year, it was actually a hip hop number, and it was so fun because there was one part in it that it like got quiet, and then they like, I don't know how to explain it because the whole dance was just insane, but like it was very hype, like it was, they're all like obviously having fun, and that's like the main thing. And then they like turned to the back, and then they like turned back around and started like screaming, like hyping each other up, and that was just really fun. So that one I think about a lot when I hear the song. It was I don't remember what the song name is, but it was just like a very like fun routine where it got quiet, and then they all just started like hyping each other up. That one was a lot of fun this year.
Very cool. You said you would watch Burn over and over again. Is it watchable somewhere, or you just have a tape of it or something?
I'm trying to think where I can, or I want to say it's on our studio's Facebook. Maybe it's
Okay.
Legacy Studio. It's Legacy Studio Performing Arts
Okay.
is our thing, but I'm not sure if it's there or not. If not,
We'll go look for it. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely somewhere we can find it.
Okay. I just thought if there was a chance to see it, I would love
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Now, you went to camp at CLI Conservatory in
Yes.
Massachusetts.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. That was literally one of the best weeks of my life. I went into it. It was one of those things that my mom signed me up for. I was like, oh God, what is this now? Like, what is this about to be? I'm terrified. I'm literally going across the United States. Like, not really, but I mean, kind of. I'm terrified. I know literally no one going. Like, no one. The only person I knew was Lucy, and I'd never even met her. I just knew her choreography. So, and she wasn't even going. She was teaching. So obviously I wasn't going to be like hanging out with her all day. But it was like, in my mind, I probably thought I was because I just love her. But so we got on the plane, whatever. I'm not dreading it. I'm excited, but I'm also, like I said, terrified because I know none of these people. So I got there, I took the first classes. I'm a very social person, so me being scared to go somewhere is not normal for me. Like usually I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I'll go talk. I'll make 40 new friends at neighborhood market. Like, let's go. But I think that that in the back of my mind, there's always competition with dance. And I think that's just really for any artist and for any like art form. I think that there's just always something in the back of your head that's like, I want to be better than these people. And so I think that everyone there had a totally different mindset than that. It was all of these people were there to show each other their art instead of being better, I think. And so I met some incredible people there. The teachers were all just like insane. I mean, I actually would come home not being able to walk, or back to our like apartment thing, not even being able to walk. Like my feet hurt so bad, like throbbing, had to like soak them in ice every night. It hurt. It was awful, like 12 hours a day for like 6 days straight, but it was fun. It was so much fun. And I wouldn't change that. Like the people I met for the world, I love them so much. And I'm still in contact with some of them. I mean, most of them live in like Virginia and like Maine and New York, like around there. Like some live in Massachusetts, but and then there's some people there from like California. I'm like, how? I can't even imagine that flight. But yeah.
Very cool. So, would you go back?
Yes, I'm already signed up for next year.
Oh, cool. That's good to
Yes.
hear. And I bet you're not terrified at all.
Nope, I'm so excited.
One of the questions in the chat are, what goals do you have?
Yes. So connecting to CLI, so the actual conservatory is a year-long program after high school. Okay. So it's for like kind of to get you out there, like to just start your dance career if that's something you want to do. I personally, I want to continue dance, but I don't think I want to continue like, I'm not really sure, honestly. Like I want to dance. Obviously, I want to teach. I want to keep being an inspiration, but I also have other like interests for my career. You know what I mean? Like, sure. I don't know. So I just think I've kind of I mean, been a main thing for me recently going into my junior year, like kind of thinking about college stuff. But CLI is it's like a year long program after high school to just kind of like jumpstart that, get your name out there, being able to like post you and like be on their roster. Just like if someone like just like random music videos, they reach out to CLI. It's like, hey, do you have someone that would be good for this? And then just being like, yeah, sure, like something like, just stuff like that. I think that it's very good for people who want to continue their career in that. I'm just not sure yet how like committed I am to wanting to do that.
Sure. Well,
And that's the whole point of the intensive is to kind of get, to kind of know.
sure. That's smart. Sandra said CLI is like Brent Street from Dance Life. I don't know what that means.
I
I'm
don't
so
either.
sorry.
Sandra, if you could clarify, that would help.
Sorry. I was hoping you would know, and I would be like, "Oh yeah, of course." I'm sorry, Sandra.
Um, I, how am I going to ask this question? While we wait for Sandra, I do want to ask for you, somebody who has taken a multitude of different dance styles, talking to someone who has never done dance before in their life,
Yeah.
how would you describe some of the different genres? Like,
Yeah.
where would you place some of these things? Uh,
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, I'm just going to kind of go down the line. So,
okay.
obviously, ballet, like I said, right and wrong, fundamental, like that's usually the first one you start with, like when you're like first getting into dance. I think that the steps definitely increase as you get more advanced in the technique, but it's just very like I said, right and wrong, pointed feet, straight legs. If they're not supposed to be straight, make sure they're not. You know what I mean? Just that black and white. Tap is obviously you have like the you're wearing tap shoes, so you have like it's like metal that's like on the bottom. Just makes it's just loud, and there's very clear steps in tap. I'm not going to say too much because quite frankly I don't know, but just musicality is huge. Like making sure that if the step is on 5-6, you're not there on and 6. You're there on 5 and then 6. You just stuff like that. Like you have to make sure you're super clear, and that's what makes or breaks a tap routine. Contemporary is very most people describe it as weird. It's just kind of like with like I said, like that ballet is in the back of your mind, but then portraying like the emotion, the feelings, the like depending on what obviously what song. Like if it's a very sad piece, like being very sad. If it's like an angry piece, like Burn was a very angry piece because she just got cheated on. That just portraying like the like raw, just being very raw, I think is what really what contemporary is. And it's very big movements. It's not very like and even if the movement is small, still portraying it big is very important. Lyrical is like it's called, or people describe it as ballet and jazz mixed. So it's like those fundamentals, like very like sharp and like very like it's just very pretty. Basically, is what lyrical is. And while also portraying a story, but I feel like contemporary is like a little bit more weird. Usually is like a little like more edgy. Usually has less of like lyricals. Usually like a happy sad, like a usually you're smiling during lyrical, and contemporary you're kind of like doing different like faces, just like very weird. Jazz is just very fun. It's just like high energy, like the classic jazz. It's kind of not really changing, but there's definitely some other jazzes that are very like serious and mature. I feel like as you mature, your dance matures with you, especially in jazz. I think that jazz, like my jazzes now are very mature, like usually not too much facials, but like when you're little, it's very like fun, and you usually have like glitter and sequins and sometimes feathers and like stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. And then hip hop is obviously hip hop. It's just like that's its own thing.
That's so cool. I mean, I feel like that's a good explanation. Is there a type of dance that you have yet to explore that you would love to do so in the future?
So at CLI, there was ballroom classes. Never taken a ballroom in my life ever. I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't even have like the shoes. I didn't have like people were coming in there in like their cute skirts and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. But it was so much fun. So I think that that would be a lot of fun to like kind of do for fun, just because like yeah, I'll learn the steps and I'll learn how to do them correctly. But honestly, like the music is just so fun. Like the costumes are so fun in ballroom. Um, but yeah, that one would be fun to keep doing, like just to keep like for fun.
Sure.
And then I haven't done a lot of modern. Modern is very like I personally feel like modern is very like shape based. Like I feel like it's like make a big circle now, make a big star. Like I don't know. I think that that's a lot, and it's very slow. I feel like, and it's very, very like modern is very artistry. Like it's very like if you're looking at it, it's usually just pure art.
Hmm.
Um, so I haven't really done a lot with. I've done some modern classes, like just like I said, like kind of just being able to make those shapes and stuff like that. But I've never really competed or like had a modern piece. But I think those two are ones that I would like want to explore.
If you had the opportunity, this is a hypothetical question.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to make a music video with another dancer where you're both planning the dancing and also dancing in it,
hmm
who would you want that other person to be, and what music would it be?
Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, we have very similar dance styles. I mean, obviously, she's like insane compared to me. Like, I can't even put it into words. She's incredible, but her choreography mixed with my dancing, I think it mixes very well. Like, I loved her classes at CLI. They were always one of my favorites. But yeah, and I would want it to be like some type of like weird song, like something like her style. She does a lot to like not older music, but kind of older, like kind of like more like kind of groovy. She does a lot of like groovy pieces. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Very cool. My other question that I thought of was, you are super confident, and I like that about you. I'm wondering what advice you would have for somebody getting into dance, or maybe who's already in dance who isn't as confident.
Um, for dancers, I think just knowing that everyone starts somewhere. There's like no matter how late or how young you started, like even at starting like competitions at 7 years old, I was so not confident. And I think that someone who wants to start my age, like you don't have to be the best to get into classes for sure. Like there's classes that people who have zero training will come in and do just for fun, and there's zero judgment. And I think that just knowing that everyone starts somewhere and everyone has their own like path, and like just because I can get my leg over my head doesn't mean that you have to be a better dancer than me or be a good dancer or be a bad dancer. You know what I mean? Like there's no such thing
Right.
as that, because like my leg can go up there, but I probably can't. I don't know. Like I probably couldn't do like a like try to get me to do a tumble pass right now. I think I'd die. I just like stuff like that. Like it's like there's never like there's always competition in the back of your head, but I think that it's always for yourself. And I think that that's a thing that people need to realize, that like when I was struggling at 7 with like stuff like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like struggling with that stuff, like just being like, okay, who's actually paying attention to me right now? It's just my brain. It's really just me that's being like, yeah. So I come off very confident because I think that that's important to um, not show that you want to, or not showing that you get walked on, because I don't know. Personally, I don't like stand for stuff like that. Like I said, like if you respect me, I'll respect you. But I think that just coming off like that and being confident are two totally different things. And I think that as long as you just remind yourself and work on yourself and being confident, I think that that's really all that matters.
Good
Very
stuff.
well said.
Yeah.
Um, my question for you Uh, is there a stereotype out there about dance that you would like to dispel?
Absolutely. I think there is a stereotype that winning means that you're the best and that competitions mean everything, when really the point of it is to portray your emotion and to get out things that you can't get out with words, and being able to like I said, like connect with other people. Like I'm not gonna go up to someone and be like, "Hi, what's your whole life story?" You know what I mean? But I can tell when someone's dancing. I mean, obviously not like exactly, but you can feel it, and I think that that's really the most important thing. And I think people just think like, "Okay, yep, got first place. My studio's the best." But really, it's like, no, what goes on in the studio that makes your studio the best? Do you guys all have that confidence in each other and in yourselves? Because if not, I sorry to break it to you, but all you got was that trophy. You know what I mean? Like you don't know each other, you don't know each other's art, you don't know each other's style, and you don't know each other's emotions. So I think that that's very important. It's just not knowing that that trophy really doesn't matter. I could get a million of them and not care.
Damn.
That was amazing.
Please,
You're so
somebody,
amazing.
please,
you.
somebody clip this.
I know I did.
Oh my gosh.
I totally did.
Thank you.
That was so well said and so right on.
Yeah, there are teachers that I would love to send that to.
Yes.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
But there are so many people that I would love to send that to, because it was like I was having this conversation with my therapist of part of my struggle with being in theater was that constant like perfectionism, like
Yeah,
it was like there was some competition to earn and that made you the best. And there was so lack of the focus on artistry
yeah,
that it kind of hindered me, I feel like, at sometimes as an artist, and made me afraid to try new things.
absolutely.
So yeah, when Emily, when you have that, can you send that to me, please? I
Oh
have a
yeah.
few emails to send.
Oh my gosh.
We'll be posting
Yes,
it. It'll be
that's so
good.
funny. Thank you.
We'll tag you on Instagram.
Awesome. Can't wait.
You have given so much advice, but there, it sounds like you still have so many plans, and the doors are still so wide open for you. Um, is there kind of me meandering through this question? I'm sorry.
No, you're
Uh,
fine.
That's what I do.
You're good.
but there are so many things. So rather than looking forward, I'm going to ask, is there somebody from your past or somebody that you may not have met yet that you would love to sit down, have lunch with, and just pick their brain?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Um, I can't think of anyone on the top of my head, but I'm trying to think. All I can think is Lucy.
I mean, that's
All I
kind
can
of the
think of.
answer I
Yeah.
thought of too.
That's literally the answer. I just want to know how she does it. Like honestly, like, ugh, and really any of the teachers at CLI. Like I would love to just have a lunch table and just have a bajillion questions for all of them, because they're all just so different, and but all share the same passion and all have the same um, like motive to keep going. And I think I just yeah, just all of them.
Well, I hope you get that opportunity. That would be really
I
cool.
hope so too.
Yeah.
Um, Adalie, before we close this episode out, normally we would ask for some advice, but you have been mic dropping through this entire episode.
Thank you.
Um, so, as as you continue your career and your passion in dance, we want to make sure that our listening audience can stay in touch with you and get more
Yeah.
advice from you.
Yeah.
Where can our listeners stay in touch with you the best?
Yeah. So I have a personal Instagram, and then I also have a dance Instagram. My dance one it's Adalie Grace 11, and I'm pretty sure that she's put it in there. So you can always contact me on that. I'm logged into it. My mom is also logged into it. So any questions, anything like that, that's really my main thing. That's where I kind of keep my stuff like separated from dance and just like my everyday stuff. So that's the main one that you can DM me, comment on anything, like whatever, either one.
Very cool.
That
So
is
that's Adalie Grace 11 at Instagram. Go
Yes.
follow.
Thank
yeah.
you. Quick plug.
Yeah.
Well, Adley, I love the insight that you shared with us. It is so clear that
Thank
you
you.
have a drive, a passion, and that you've got a very clear, burning future bright in front of you.
Yes.
So truly, thank you so much for spending time with us
Of
today.
course. It was so fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Um, to anybody listening here, this episode, along with probably every single episode moving forward, will be dedicated to Joe Capone, our moderator, fellow comedian, passionate encourager, and greatly missed friend. You can find us pretty much wherever you tune into podcasts. For updates, announcements, and more, follow us on social media under Modern Romantic. Thanks, everybody. And like Martha Graham said, great dancers are not great because of their technique, they are great because of their passion. Have a great night.
Absolutely.